What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to the Culture Gods channel. I am your host, Mike Nix, also the Herald of the Gods. And I wanted to do another collection of thoughts. I promise y'all that all my collection of thoughts isn't going to be on Puff or Diddy. You know what I'm saying? It's not. It just so happens that this is what's been on my mind. Like if it's part of the culture and I'm passionate about it and it's in the fabric of who I am, then because I am the culture, period, then I'm going to talk about it. And these are thoughts that just kind of wander around in my head. First of all, I really wanted to make this video to address the last video that I did. I felt like, again, I'm kind of rebooting this channel, so my thoughts and my mind is all over the place a lot of the times, and I never really get to get it all out and really say all the things that I want to say all the time. I look back on some of the videos already and like, damn, there's so much I could have said different. There's so much I wanted to clarify. So I wanted to make this video to really drive home my stance and how I feel about things as they stand right now, because I think I was all over the place in the last video. Puff is a monster, period. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. If you don't believe in any of the allegations or anything like that, just the video with him and Cassie alone should tell you enough about who that man really is. It's disgusting. It's terrible. You don't have to have a daughter or a girlfriend or a wife or whatever to look at that and say what he did was wrong. Just being a decent human being, you can look at that and say that was wrong. Puff is wrong in every instance. Now, as far as the alleged things that have happened behind closed doors, we'll find that out, obviously, when he has his day in court. But I wanted to make this video for a couple of reasons. Number one, sometimes, especially with a topic like this, the lines can be blurred, or it's a solid line between what's real and what's not. Let me give you the quick rundown. A lot has happened since the last time I made that first video. They've come out and, one of the federal prosecutors pretty much does what they do with any high profile celebrity, came out and pretty much gave a rundown on what he's being accused of, what some of the witnesses have already said that they're going to say in court, what's in the documentation. I've seen some clips of some videos with other people that have claimed they've been to the parties. There's a one chick that said that, at Puff's parties, he does have a drink that he passes around at a certain time of the party. And if you don't drink it, then you get kicked out the party. You know what I'm saying? And then there's the case of there was a 9-year-old boy who their parents brought him to Bad Boy. And, in hopes of him getting a record deal, of course, living vicariously through their son probably. And Puff was on some pedo shit with him. There was a girl that got a train ran on her and she was 15. Countless stories over and over. It's so much that's come out against Puff. And, again, I wanted to kind of talk about this because what I was trying to get at in the first video was basically when you are raised with some, Puff created and curated and cultivated a large portion of my childhood as far as music. If you're a 90s kid, you know what I'm talking about. And like I said in the first video, it was Death Row. It was Bad Boy. The labels controlled all the music that we listened to. And as kids, we didn't have no idea. We weren't even thinking about what these dudes was doing behind closed doors. We didn't give a fuck. We was enjoying our lives and enjoying the music of our time. Everything from the fashion, what Mace wore. I remember like dressing like Mace as a kid. You know what I'm saying? That's who I wanted to be. Well, not be, but I wanted to dress like, because I thought it looked cool, as all kids do. We go off of what we see the outside world is doing. We go off of what the culture is. And that was Bad Boy. When the East Coast, West Coast beef happened, it was unfortunate and it was sad. Besides the fact, there's sometimes you get to a point where, damn, it breaks my heart is what I was trying to get to in the first video. It breaks my heart to have to hear these stories and see somebody that, created so much of my livelihood and my life when I was younger, had a hand in Carl Thomas and 112 and Only You with Mason 112 and, wrote songs and wrote hit records and produced for so many different people, to then see his downfall like this. That's what I was trying to get at. It sucks. I don't know if this is something that, it's never going to be unanimous as a culture if we separate the man from the art. There's some of us that are like, no, you can't do it. And some of us are people like, yes, you can do it, But in seeing all this shit transpire and seeing it all unfold before us right now, the way it's happening, it's not looking good for him. But he's a fucked up dude, straight up. There's no gray area when it comes to that in my eyes. He's got some problems. He went on camera and tried to issue that weird ass apology, and he said he had some problems back then, and he's been to therapy or something like that. I've heard he had a drug problem, so he had to go to rehab and all kind of shit. I believe that when you've got that kind of money and power, that means you have access, and you have got access to any and everything and every person that you need access to. So of course you're going to get access to not just drugs, the best drugs, not just the best drugs, all the best drugs, as much as you need. I believe that. The Hollywood parties, let me address that. Like I said in the first video, I'm not going to stay too much on it, but that's the thing that happens in Hollywood, man. Broke people have parties like that. Broke people have freak-offs. Nigga, I done been to a couple freak-offs. I done been to some bars and some clubs where there were private clubs where you got to have a wristband to get in there because it was a certain type of event, and I've seen some wild shit. I will say that. I've experimented in my life in terms of like drugs and alcohol and things like that. That's another story for another time. I'm not an addict. I didn't do nothing wild and crazy. I kept it within my boundaries, and I moved on with life, and that was that. But when you don't have anybody to tell you to stop, when you don't have anyone that's going to tell you to stop because, they're on the payroll, of course you're gonna go crazy. We've heard all the wild stories about Puff over the years, and so whatever comes out in this trial, I'll be honest with you, probably won't surprise me. But it's heartbreaking just to see it, And then Jaguar Wright, man. So she's been going around for the last couple of years, just running her mouth. And I will say, on one hand, she was right about Puff and the shit that went on behind the scenes with that. Now she's claiming that Beyonce and Jay-Z are evil and they've done some nasty and dirty things too. She brought Aaliyah up for some reason. She's talking about people getting drugged and put on planes. I have a hard time believing her because of the theatrics. You know what I'm saying? She seems like she's just screaming for attention. And I know people like that. I know one in particular person that's like her, probably the same age and everything. And everything about her, the person that I know personally, the bitch is full of shit. And she gives me those same vibes, same type of person. Now, I will give her some grace because I was around when, I was old enough to remember Jaguar Wright when she had songs on the radio and shit like that. And the girl is talented, but she ain't been on the scene in 15, 20 years? And all of a sudden she pops out with all these allegations and shit, and she's got all this traction and all this attention because of the shit she's saying, not her talent. Crazy. So I don't know what to believe. I'm trying to be objective here and say, we're going to wait till the trial because every man and woman deserves their day in court. And until the trial comes and all the facts come out, this is all rumors and speculation. There might be some truth to what some people are saying. Some people are just lying their asses off, I bet. But we don't know. My point is, though, whatever he did that was illegal, immoral, abuse, he abused drugs. He abused his power and took advantage of people, apparently. He's robbed countless artists out of record deals. Mace alone is one story. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's done so much shit to people over the years that have come out publicly on radio, confronted him on radio, to try to get out of these fucked up deals that he had, who I'm sure he learned from the people that taught him, the people that was robbing and taking advantage of the artists back then. And that began my disdain for Puff. Now, I'll be real with you. I was never a Puff fan. So for kids that don't understand who Puff is, he's a record executive, right? He's an executive producer, and he was a producer. And he became an artist because, I mean, Puff likes the limelight, clearly. He wants to be the star, always wanted to be the star. So when he got with Mace, and even when he was big, they was writing his rhymes for him. And he got a chance to taste the spotlight a little bit. But I think that shit got to his head. He should have stayed behind the scenes. But Puff has been on the forefront with Bad Boy since the 90s. Even Jermaine Dupri took a backseat. If we're talking like the big producer, icons from the 90s, from Pharrell and Nerd, the Neptunes rather, Dr. Dre, Puff, Trackmasters, Jermaine Dupri, those were the heavy hitters. Timbaland, I could forget Timbaland. Swiss Beats, those guys were all running at the same time. And they all, dipped their hand in the artist bucket for a little pause, had a hand in the artist shit. But Puff was the one that just kind of like, he just couldn't stay out of the spotlight. Neither here nor there. Throwing parties, again, like I said in the first video, man, there ain't nothing wrong with throwing parties. Been to many parties. Adults do adult shit. It is what it is. What people do at parties, Hollywood parties have been going on for decades, man. Salacious, crazy orgies and shit, man. Y'all, I don't know why that's freaking everybody out. And everybody's, got these clickbait videos about it. This isn't a clickbait video, by the way. These are my personal thoughts because I like to address the things that are culturally relevant to me. And because I am the culture for the guys, I think about this stuff sometimes if it affects me or if it affects my thought process and how I'm, when I process these things, if I'm listening to music and shit like that. But Puff was never an artist to me. For me, this would be easy. If he gets, and he's been indicted, but if he gets, charged or is found guilty rather with all the things that have come out with him, good for him. My dad always said, man, you get what you deserve. There's a lesson that my dad always says about a dog, about stray dogs or dogs in general that don't belong to you, and won't even go into that lesson because y'all don't want to hear all that shit right now in this video. But my point is, when you do things in life, nature rewards you for those things, good or bad. And the reward is going to be, why I say reward, but if you do something that draws a negative energy towards you, well, your reward will be something negative happening to you. You go around cocky and arrogant and abusing your power and taking advantage of everyone you come across, running over people, dangling people off of balcony ledges, and basically what I don't agree with Vlad in general because of what he does with the culture, and it is what it is. But he said something that recently, like, Puff was a mob boss. Basically, he ran his operation like a mob boss. He definitely did. You saw the Fabulous and Jadakiss video on the Drink Champs. You saw how awkward and uncomfortable them niggas was in that video. Only a nigga with power like that could make you feel uncomfortable. I've seen niggas in the same room as the president and didn't look that uncomfortable just talking, But I think that he's going to get everything that's coming to him. I'm a firm believer in the universe. Sorry if you don't believe in energy. I do, but I believe in it more scientifically than anything. But I believe that when you do bad and you put bad energy out there and abuse people and things like that, there's only a matter of time before that shit comes to you. It's lurking in the shadows. While you out here on your private yachts and your private jets and throwing your all white parties and you running up on these podcasters, making them blow out fucking birthday candles and shit like that, and asking niggas if they miss you and want to party with them and take them shopping and all kind of wild shit. All because no one has checked you. Well, nature's going to check you. The universe is going to check you at some point. Checkmate. I have no sympathy. You know, I wasn't raised in a household that had a lot of sympathy in general. That taught me a lot. I have sympathy for people that deserve it, but Puff don't deserve no sympathy. Now, on the other hand, as a man and as a black man, I don't want to see any black man go to jail at all if it's undeserving. You know, we get enough of that. We plenty of us are innocent get locked up and are treated unfairly by the justice system. But if you draw this attention on yourself, that's on you, bro. I ain't got shit for you. And that's kind of what I missed in the last video. And I wanted to make it very clear that I'm not making no excuses for anything that Puff allegedly did. If he did that shit, he did that shit, and he deserves to pay the price for it. And whatever consequences come to him, and let God judge him at that point. I'm not judging anybody. That's for the gods to judge, not me. But it is kind of a heartbreaking thing and a really, I don't know, interesting situation yet again with another celebrity who is iconic to the culture, but he wasn't taken down and there was no agenda to take him down. Of course, I'm sure people wanted to see his downfall. The people that he did dirty, yeah. They don't want to see him prosper anymore. Out here just roaming free, doing whatever he wants to do. But it was only a matter of time, man. I hope this is a lesson to anybody out there that, you know, the arrogance that comes with the power will ultimately always be your downfall. You know, the golden rule applies no matter what walk of life you are in or from, whether you're poor or rich or in between. You treat people how you want to be treated. You know, you don't drug people inconspicuously at parties in hopes that they all get butt naked because you want a fucking wild orgy to happen. How about you just send out invites, you know, secretly and just say, hey, look, I'm having an orgy Saturday. Y'all want to come? Like, it's going to be great. It's that simple. I don't know, man. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. But evil doesn't prosper for long. So, you know, that's really all I got with the Puff situation. I promise you, I'm not going to make any more Puff videos or collection of thoughts. First of all, I don't want this to be a channel based on like, you know, TMZ gossip news. This is not that channel. I want this to be something totally different. But for me, it's culturally relevant. And I feel like it needed to be addressed, at least if nothing else, to put my thoughts out to the universe. You know, if you have your own thoughts, you know, leave them in the comment section below. Outside of that, I'll see y'all in the next video.